What's up, my rowdy red mobbin? This is Rob from the Gay Guy Plays, and today on #confirmed, we're gonna be digging into the shit show that was Devstream 133, and let me tell you right now, you gotta watch this one. Like, I've got all the information compiled here for you. Just toss it on in the background and watch how it devolves. Legitimately, it was the perfect shitstorm, and I kind of loved it. It wasn't bad. It was just like, what is happening here? However, one thing we can't appreciate is how glorious Rebecca's skin was, and literally I had to go put on a face just so that I could feel like up to par. Regardless, let's go ahead and take a look at all of the information that was presented to us today. Now, speaking of today, look at that segue, so good, right? The update of Rising Tide will be dropping sometime today. In fact, they were trying to drop it during the dev stream in and of itself, but it seems like there were some bugs that they still needed to work on. So just keep in mind, it's coming ASAP. In addition, we've also got Double Affinity Weekend going on right now. So if you got some Kuva weapons that you needed to go ahead and level up, get on it, boo! Now, one of the things that they stated for building the dry dock is that it doesn't happen in a day. In fact, they did kind of mention that there might be some sort of quest going along with it, maybe some kind of mini quest, I don't know, but they did go ahead and give us the resources that you will need to build it. So this is going to be for a ghost clan. This one is going to cost 200,000 credits, 25,000 salvage, 850 circuits, 15 tellurium, and 1 forma. Now, like I said, that is Ghost Clan. You multiply that times 3 for Shadow, times 10 for Storm, times 30 for Mountain, and 100 for Moon. Wow, 100 fully built forma. That kind of stings, but listen, they said that you have time to get this done, so get to work, I guess. They also stated that after you are done doing that, consider building mutagen mass, detonite injectors, and Feldrion. So that is definitely something that you guys can go ahead and work on this weekend as Rising Tide drops. There's a couple other things that are going to be coming up with the update as well. We have the overhauled orbiter. So if you're looking to try to do a little bit of IKEA frame, I know that I personally don't give a shit, but it will be something prettier to look at just in case you guys were waiting for it. We've also got Equinox Deluxe that is launching too. And let me just give you guys a little bit of a premise. I didn't necessarily love the way that Equinox, the deluxe skin was looking, but after this, I know that nothing on it has really changed all that much, but the textures have really been fine-tuned. So if you were having textural issues with it before, it looks a lot better now. Silkier, kind of like, I don't know, it just looks better. I don't know, let me know how you feel down in the comments below. It's still got that samurai kind of bug, maybe a little bit planty feel. Other people on Twitter were telling me that they lost the whole plant feel. Let me know how you guys feel about that as well. But overall, I kind of did end up liking it a lot better from the previous time we saw it. Next up, they are finally introducing in-za skins. So for those of you guys who've been wanting to put on like some of the deluxe skins that you've gotten or some of the Tenogen skins, you'll be able to toss them on top of your Zas. Of course, this is going to be dictated by the type of strike that you have on it. So if you have a sword strike on it, you're going to be using sword skins. If you have a heavy blade skin, you can put that on a heavy blade strike, so on and so forth. Moving along from that, they also went ahead and made some improvements to Archwing. Some of y'all might think it's improvements, some of y'all might not love it, but we are getting blink on every single Archwing. However, it is on a reuse timer. So they're saying that it's about 3 seconds-ish, if not a little bit less. There is discussions as to whether they'll end up tweaking that in the future. Rebecca's calling for it, so who knows, we might see it sooner than later. But it is something that they, I'm sure, are open to feedback on. They also went ahead and showed off Itzal's new rip line, which looks a little wonky, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. You can use the rip line, of course, normally to snag enemies, but also to kind of like pull yourself towards objects. And supposedly it's got a little bit more range or a little bit more speed than the standard movement. Now, speaking of standard movement, one of the things that they also did for Archwing is they've changed it so now boosters are automatic. before you had to do an additional key press to really do thrusters. In fact, I heard some people asking me, like, how do you move so fast in your Archwing? And it's because of the fact that I'd been using the boost. Now boost is just going to be automatic. So you might have to, like, maybe not go so hard on holding down your standard movement keys on there, because that boost is pretty freaking fast. So definitely keep that in mind when you jump into Archwing. In addition to all of this, keep in mind that this information is just kind of like an outline for what is going to be happening with the Rising Tide update. I'll actually be reading you guys the patch notes from that, just so that you guys don't miss anything. But they do have one last thing that they wanted to add in, is some changes to Kuva Liches. Again, just some kind of like top tier, top line, top note. It's just the top. It's just the tip. That's all you're getting. But now you can down your Lich 3 times in a mission, not using your Parazon, just during normal combat. If you take them out 3 times, they'll actually flee the mission. So that way, if you don't want to be bothered by them, like let's say you're doing a defense or an interception and you're like, listen, I'm just trying to chill, I'm just trying to get my shit done, knock them down once, wait till they kind of regenerate, knock them down again, wait till they regenerate, knock them down a 3rd time, then they'll end up leaving. However, if you do decide to use your Parazon on the enemy, they went ahead and added in the fact that you would get a Kuva drop. Now keep in mind, this is only going to be applied to Kuva Liches between the levels 1 and 4. So if you've got a level 5 Kuva Lich, you ain't getting that Kuva anymore. But every missed attempt will have, I don't know if it's have a chance or will guarantee you Kuva, but you've got, there's a Kuva drop there, or every successful one. So if you succeed, then you'll get a Kuva drop. If you fail, then you'll get a Kuva drop, so on and so forth. We'll go into more detail on that as soon as the patch notes drop. Now, this of course is what I wanted to save for last, because y'all know you had to. We had to talk about Ivara motherfucking Prime! That's right, no hashtag trash bag. We'll see you in 2020 if you get fixed. Regardless, wow. They started off with her being invisible, and straight out of the gate, the fucking quality was there. She looked like galactic. Like, she looked like the way that all of the galaxies, when you like pan away from it, because I've been watching Astrum, you guys know, if you've been following me on the Nightwave thing and been listening to all that, I love all the space stuff, and it looks like she's just filled with all of these twinkling lights. Oh my god, it was like beautiful the way they had her did, and they tossed on the wisp animation on her as well, so she looked extremely jellyfish-like. Now, that is actually going to be the theme of Ivara Prime. I was making jokes because I felt like this was like a Pokemon evolution, you know, where you start off with one Pokemon and then it turned into a whole nother, and you're like, how did that work? Well, she went from poison tree frog to poisoned jellyfish, and wow, it is amazing. Skyers killed it on this one. She has that kind of like disc hat that she had in a previous alternate helmet. I always tease Skyers about it, calling it the tissue paper helm, because it looked like there were like streaks of tissue paper. Well, he said, fuck you, Rob. I'm gonna turn it into a beautiful jellyfish helm. It's like transparent, and their energy effects just glowing and like wisping off of it. Her skirt looked absolutely gorgeous. She was just really, really beautiful. But I will say one thing. Yo, she looked thick. She looked like Doja Cat kind of thick. Like, she got even more curve. You thought she had thighs before? No, she's rocking them hips now too. She done filled out, and she looks really fucking good. I will tell you that right now. Like, she seemed a little tomboy-esque in her previous version. Now she's like full-on jellyfish princess. And I love the energy work, that it just feels so delicate. Instead of like so raw and kind of like tattered, now it's just like, how do I put it? It's just refined. She looks like a fucking princess, and I absolutely love it. Now, she is going to be coming with 2 accessories. I'm going to go into accessories first, then we'll talk about the weapons. Where she does have a Sayandana. This was designed by Kaz. Gorgeous work as usual. And happily, I'm going to have to try this on different Warframes, but we're going to see how it goes. This is a back attachment, and it does not drag on the ground. And it's got those beautiful jellyfish elements on it too, which is kind of like the cloth textures. And I was like, that's really fucking pretty. And it's not like we're gonna be mopping up the floor with our goddamn Cyandanas on this one. So I'm gonna be trying this on a bunch of different Warframes. I'm really, really excited for that. In addition, you're gonna get a Prime Armor Pack. And the Prime Armor Pack is actually themed after the Itan sculptures that we have that all kind of like move and undulate, which definitely fit the whole jellyfish feeling. So I'm loving the fact that they're introducing in moving parts to their Prime Armor sets. It's really at least important to me that when you're going to be releasing like a Prime pack, that it's got to feel elevated. And this one definitely feels elevated. So I don't know how I'm going to do it. I don't know what corner I'm going to be working on this holiday season, but I'm going to find some way to get the money for this because I'm picking this up because the two weapons that come along with it are the Baza Prime. Now I called this. I'm saying, I know everybody was like Daiku Prime, Daiku Prime. I was like, no, honey. Baza Prime is a submachine gun that is silenced. It's made for Miss Ivara Prime. And again, it looked absolutely gorgeous. I can't wait to see it a little bit in closer detail because they did give us a little bit of a shot on it sideways. I thought it looked pretty there, but definitely want to check out the stats as well. In addition to that, we had a weapon that I've been waiting on for so long to get primed, and I didn't think it was gonna get primed, but now it's primed. I'm so happy. Which, of course, is the Aksomati Prime. Now, y'all know I love me the Axe Stiletto Prime, but when Aksomati came out, it was just so beautiful. It was absolutely freaking gorgeous, and I was like, wow, I want to use this, but the Axe Stiletto Prime is just way better, right? And so finally, the Aksomati is getting launched. I'm not 100% on its design. I don't think visually it's as pretty as the other one. I wish the front was metallic instead of like the kind of like ceramic look. But listen, beggars can't be choosers. It's my love for this weapon going back to way in the days. Also know that it's a crit-based weapon. It's heavy in the crit area. So I'm wondering what DE is going to do to kind of like balance it out and make it prime feasible, I guess is what I'm going to say. In addition, let's close this out because I'm already, you can already tell that the juices are flowing in my body, and I want to go ahead and close this out because Rebecca also did Sentient gameplay. She took us into the new tile set and started playing with all of the Sentient stuff. I don't really have too much to say because she wasn't making much commentary. She was just kind of like taking us through some of the different enemies that were there. But looking at the gameplay itself, and I want you to go ahead and just watch and get the feel, it feels a little different, doesn't it? It doesn't feel as fast-paced. It almost feels like you have to be a bit more methodical. Now, of course, this is, you know, playing on the dev build. This isn't playing with the full team, and we haven't sat down and we haven't min-maxed it to see exactly what is going to be the best performing. But legitimately, I was sitting there and I was like, this has got a different vibe to it. And I'm kind of really liking it. It's a mode. Regardless, let me know how you feel about everything that you've seen during this dev stream. Also, just how spectacular that shit show was. Leave it all down in the comments below, from your feels on the Sentient combat to Ivara motherfucking Prime and her Prime pack. Yo, that was... They were like, listen, we need to make some money. Skyers, get on it. And he was like, bitch, I'm your cash cow. I'm going to do it for you. And I'm like, love it. Regardless, that's going to do it for me for now. I've literally got Warframe standing in the background just to make sure that I don't miss the update. But as always, love somebody, hurt nobody, and touch your body. Get your dock built. It's here. It's coming. It's soon. All right? I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.